Kylian Mbappe scored again. I mean, a game when the game was, wasn't brilliant. They were on top. It wasn't the best goal ever, but he made it happen again. Kylian Mbappe, a genuine superstar. You saw him in the World Cup final, didn't you? Even though in the end they didn't win, but boy, did he play his part, scoring a hat-trick in a World Cup final. I know 2 of them were penalties, but even that, you've got to stand up and deliver. I mean, he's extraordinary. And I think, if you're talking about the best players in the world, we've just mentioned a couple of Bellingham and Vinicius Junior, but I think probably Mbappe's number 1 at the moment now that Ronaldo and Messi, of course, have kind of gone into the sunset of the twilight of their career.
Yeah, I totally agree. I said yesterday when I was doing Champions League, or the day before, yesterday, I think he's the most complete. So if you look at someone like Kevin De Bruyne, so like you've got Haaland, who's a super finisher in the box, he will score.
Yeah.
You've got Kevin De Bruyne, who can score, assist, he can play deeper, he can play more offensive, he can slide balls through. I think Kevin De Bruyne is probably the most complete midfielder. Mm-hmm. But Mbappe, he's the most complete forward in my... Kane's up there in terms of link-up play and passing and scoring. But Mbappe can change, he can turn a game on its head. Give him the ball, whether he's up front as a number 9, where he's playing on the left, his skill, his first touch, he scores at the right moments. I just think he's the most complete in that position in the world. He'd be my number 1 player in the world, without doubt.
It would be mine as well at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, 44 goals and 26 assists in 68 Champions League games. And
it's ridiculous. And you know what annoys me about it? When people talk about, he's playing in the Farmers League. He does it in the Champions League. He does it in like the World Cup final. What more do you want from him?
That Farmers League nonsense is always irritating. I mean, they're the top 5 leagues in Europe, and it's just thrown out there by people that don't really understand the game that much, And don't forget, if you're also playing in a league that's probably not, well, it's not as strong as the Premier League, and is not quite as strong probably as a Bundesliga or Italian league or even the Spanish league, but it's still a very strong league. But if you're playing in that league and you are the superstar in that league, every team that you play against, his mindset is basically how to stop Kylian Mbappe. Therefore, that becomes increasingly more difficult. It's like teams that defend against Manchester City all the time, and therefore it's really difficult for Haaland. So it makes it harder. If you're playing against the best teams all the time, that's sometimes for a forward easier, because you're not going to have to play against that constant low block or people doubling or tripling up on you. So it's actually, in a way, it might be more difficult.
Agreed. It's a good point.
I do make the occasional one. Just to put it in some kind of perspective, for players of the age of 25 or under, he's now second in the all-time list of players that have scored goals in the Champions League. I suspect Haaland will probably catch up at some point. But you've got Messi with 59. He had 59 goals at the age of 25. Kylian Mbappe is now second with 44. And Raul just behind with 43. So he's...
extraordinary.
Yeah, I just love watching him play as well. That stop-start acceleration that he does with the ball at his feet. And
he's the best to watch. I'm so gutted that he's not coming to the Premier League. With the likes of, even before like a Grealish came or a Doku came, I was thinking, if you just want one on that side, I know he was going to cost a lot of money, but just monitor the situation. Now he's going to somewhere for free. You're getting Kylian Mbappe for a free
May I say, Micah, that he won't be going for free. He will cost an awful lot of money, but he's a very, very bright, clever lad. And it's one thing I don't understand too much about players nowadays, particularly the top players, why they don't just go somewhere and see your contract out. And then the club that are getting you don't have to pay a fee, therefore you'll get massively more money. I mean, they earn fortunes anyway, and Mbappe will do, but it just makes sense nowadays. And people say, yeah, the risk of injury, but I'm sure you can insure against those. Well, you can insure against those sort of things. So I just think he's been smart, very smart, and now's the time. I think he should go in the summer. I think it's time. I mean, he's done an amazing service to PSG. And, you know, the fans will probably still turn on him if he goes, because we've seen them do that before, and they'll probably do it again. But it looks like probably Real Madrid, but you never know. You never know. He might in the Premier League. I think it's difficult, and I think he's half of his heart. He was always a bit of a Real Madrid fan, wasn't he? So I suspect he'll go there, but Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, Rodrigo, Chalmers.
It's not fair. Mendy at left back, the young.
They're going to be good, even if they're not quite there yet. I think he'd complete them, wouldn't he?
He would complete them.
The only thing is, though, Vinicius Junior, they kind of play in the same spot.
Yeah, but if you look, though, Mbappe's sort of been playing as a number 9. He always hogs the left.
I remember having a conversation with Pochettino, and he said he wants to play on the left. He really, really likes to play on the left. He doesn't really want to play anywhere else. So
imagine, though, you got Vinicius running from out to in, and you've got Mbappe running from into. Oh my God, it's terrifying, though.
It's terrifying. But it's also quite exciting for football to see that kind of thing, even though it pains me a little bit as a former Barcelona man.